All right, eighth grade. I'm out again today. I'm sorry, but I'm doing the best I can. I'll be back as soon as I can. But until then, I want to be able to show you the answers for this. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to check the ones that I have highlighted, whether it be a green, blue, or green. I'll explain that. Ignore the non-highlighted ones right now. So, number 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, and 10. Check those. Pause the video until you got those checked. Put a little X next to it if you missed it, something so that way you can go, hey, I need a little help on it. This isn't going to be for a grade. This is going to be able to show where you had a mistake. So I'm hoping to fix it before it becomes a grade, okay? Now, let's go on down. Let's check the other highlighted ones, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, and 20. So, number 11's negative 53 is the answer. So, the answers are all in red. Hopefully you realize that. All right. Now, why are they highlighted? If they're highlighted, it means it's addition. If it's not highlighted, it means it's subtraction. So the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out, can you add? Because if you can't add, you're not going to be able to subtract. Now, um, let's take a look at just the green ones real quick. If you look right here, um, that's negative 13 plus negative 12. Since they're both negatives, we literally just add them up. 13 and 12 equals 25. If you wrote positive 25, sorry, it's wrong. They're both negative, so it needs to be a negative 25, okay? So it's a negative 25. Um, so when you take a look at number 10, we add up 47 and 20. They're both negative, so it becomes negative 67. Same with number 11, becomes negative 53. I'm not going to do the blue-green one because they're not both negatives, so it's a different rule. But over here at 14, hey, they're both negatives, so it's negative 66. Over here, you got to do a little bit of math, but yes, it's negative 78. And working our way on down, that's it. Okay, so we're completely done with the two negatives where we're adding. Now we need to come back through and we need to figure out, well, what do we do when they're not negatives? Basically, this is what you do. If one is negative and one is positive, subtract them. 45 minus 30 is 15. But ask yourself these, if these two sides were fighting, the negatives and the positives, who would win? Well, you have 45 negatives and you have 30 positives. I don't know about you, but if you bring 15 more people to a fight, I'm pretty sure that they're going to win. So I'm going to steal this sign and put it over here for the answer after I subtracted it. So I know that we're adding, but the rule is that when they have different signs, I want to subtract the numbers and then steal the sign of the side that has the most people standing. So here, we're not going to do that because it's two negatives. So we just add them up. We're adding the two negatives, and it's negative 25. Here, it's 39 minus 13. Don't let it bug you that I'm doing 39 minus 13, because between these two sides, who has more people, the negative 39 or the 13? Well, you know it's 39, so put that first in your head, and then subtract the smaller number, 13, and you find out that it's 26. But then ask yourself, okay, so since 39 had more people, I need to stick that sign right on top of that subtraction. And there's your answer. You're done. So over here, 7 minus 1 is 6. And since 7 is a positive number, and that's more than negative 1, we're going to keep it positive. And that's the reason they're saying it's a positive 6. And we do that all the way down on these blue-green ones. 32 minus 7, negative 32, positive 7, subtract them. We get 25. Who has more, the negatives or the positives? It's negatives, so that's why it's negative 25. Hey, don't subtract these. They're both negatives. See that? So we need to add them up, and that's why. So be careful there. Hey, don't subtract here. Remember, they're both negatives right here. It's only when I have one positive and one negative that's being added, that's when I subtract. So 20 minus 10 is 10. Who wins, the positives or the negatives? That's right, it's the positives, okay? And that's how you would work the rest of your addition problems. At this point, we need to see how you did on subtraction. It's highlighted in this purple pink highlighter. 4, 5, 6, and 8, check those, there's the answers underneath it. Pause it if you have to. Scroll on down to number 12 and 18. Those are the last two subtraction ones, okay? And we're going to work these out real quick. All right, eighth grade. If you had me last year, I taught you a little trick to change any subtraction problem into a addition problem. And so since this is a subtraction problem, 9 minus negative 10, we're going to take that KCC, that stands for keep, change, change. That means we're going to keep the sign of this first number the same, so keep that the same. The subtraction sign is going to change into a plus. And then if this is a negative, it turns into a positive. If it was positive, it would turn into a negative. So we're going to change this one into a positive. And now you ask yourself, 9 plus 10. Are they both positives? Yep. Just add them and go to 19. So here's number 5. Keep this 44 exactly the same. Change that subtraction to a plus sign. And this is a negative 40, so we need to make that into a positive 40. So what's 44 plus 40? Well, it's 84. It's kind of nice. You just have to know that you only do this keep, change, change business on subtractions problems, and it turns it into this addition problem that you know how to do. So let's do this one, keep, change, change. This one's a little bit more difficult, but just follow the rules. Keep the 16 the same. Change the subtraction sign to plus. And then what about this one? That looks like it's a positive 38. So it's under a change. That means it needs to be a negative 38. Don't panic. This is what we learned early on. If they don't have both negative signs for the addition problem, we're not going to just add them. We're going to subtract. So what's 38 minus 16? And it would be 22. This is 16 positives. This has 38 negatives. They're going to win, so it's a negative 22. Now, when you get to this, do not do keep, change, change here. This messes it all up. Look, this is addition. We only do keep, change, change when it's subtraction. So when you start seeing addition, don't do keep, change, change. That's going to be a mistake there. Just ask yourselves, are they on the same team or different teams? Well, these two are on different teams, so they would subtract. 7 minus 1 is 6. Who's going to win, positives or negatives? Yeah, more positives, so that's why it's a positive 6. All right, keep. This is subtraction, so keep, change, change. Well, that's 30 plus positive 40. 70 is your answer. Keep, change. Sometimes you can just write it right over the problem until you feel comfortable with it. Change, change. What's negative 6 plus positive 17? So now we've turned it into addition. You know, we used KCC to make it addition. That's good. This is a negative. This is a positive. So that means we need to subtract. 17 minus 6 is 11. Who's going to win? The negatives at 6 or the positives at 17? It's positive, so that would make it a positive 11. And so let's see, I think we've got one more. It's number 18 down here. See, it's a subtraction, so keep, change, change. Keep the negative 22. Change the subtraction to addition. And don't forget to change the second sign, the second number sign. So since it's negative 3, we need to make it a positive 3. They are different. So that means it's 22 minus 3, and that would make it 19. We have 22 negatives. We have 3 positives. That's a P right there. So that's telling me this should be a negative 19. Hopefully that answers some of your questions. For any of the mistakes that you made, I would feel free to talk to some classmates and that sort of thing to get some pointers if you're struggling. But probably it's rust, or maybe you always struggled with it last year. But hey, this year, we've got to get this under wraps. We've got to get ready for Chapter 1 material. This is just review to get you ready for Chapter 1 material. Good luck on your assignment today. It's 20 more questions, addition, subtraction, kind of spread about. Do the best you can. It'll be collected at the end of class. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. See you guys.